Most EV drivers unplug and drive away without doing anything else. That's a mistake. There are 7 quick things you should always do right after charging. And number 7 is my personal favorite. Let's get into it. Number 1. Why the moment after charging matters. The assumption most drivers make is that plugging in and unplugging is the whole job. It's not. Charging sessions don't always go perfect. Batteries don't always behave the same way after a fast charge. Range estimates shift based on conditions, and your next stop doesn't plan itself. The minute after you unplug is actually one of the best opportunities you have to catch a problem before it becomes an inconvenience on the road. It costs you 30 seconds. The payoff is a drive that goes exactly as you expected. Every experienced EV driver develops some version of this habit. The specifics vary, but the pattern is the same. Check a few things before pulling out, not after you've already committed to the highway. Think about it this way. A gas car driver pulling away from a pump knows exactly what they got. The pump stopped at a dollar amount, the gauge moved, the math is visible. An EV driver walking back into their car after a charging session doesn't get that automatic confirmation unless they look for it. The habit fills the gap. Number 2. Always check your final charge level. This one sounds obvious. It isn't. Charging sessions stop early more often than most drivers realize. The reasons vary: a communication error between the charger and the car, a payment interruption mid-session, or the battery's thermal management system triggering overheating protection and cutting the session short. You plugged in, expecting to hit 80%. You walk back into the car, assuming you're at 80%, but the session stopped at 61%, 20 minutes in, and you had no idea. Before you leave, look at the actual charge percentage on your dashboard, not the charger display, your car's display. Charger screens can be inaccurate or slow to update. The vehicle's battery management system gives you the real number. If the session stops short and you have time, restart it. If you don't have time, adjust your plan for the next leg. Either way, you know what you're actually working with instead of finding out 30 miles down the road when the range number stops making sense. Public charging infrastructure, while improving rapidly, is still not perfect. Hardware faults, network outages, and software glitches are real. A charger that appeared to be working fine when you plugged in can silently drop the session mid-charge without any obvious notification. Some networks send an alert to your app when this happens. Many don't. Your car's dashboard is the most reliable source of truth you have, and it takes 3 seconds to check. This is the single most common mistake casual EV drivers make at public chargers. Takes 3 seconds to verify, could save you from a genuinely bad situation on the road. Number 3. Let the battery cool down after charging. DC fast charging delivers a significant amount of energy to your battery in a short period. That process generates heat. When the session ends, the battery temperature is elevated, sometimes meaningfully so. Jumping straight onto the highway and accelerating hard immediately after a fast charge puts additional thermal stress on a pack that's already warm. Most modern EVs have liquid thermal management systems that handle this well, but that doesn't mean you should deliberately add to the load right out of the charger stall. The fix is simple. Drive normal for the first few minutes after a fast charge. Let the thermal system stabilize the pack temperature before you start demanding peak power from it. You're not sitting in the parking lot waiting. You're just not flooring it the second you leave the charger stall. That's a small adjustment with a real cumulative benefit over thousands of miles and hundreds of charging sessions across the life of ownership. There's a practical performance angle here too. An elevated battery temperature can temporarily affect how the car delivers power and how accurately it reads available range. Giving the system 2 or 3 minutes of normal driving lets everything settle into a stable state, which means the data you're reading on the dashboard is actually reliable. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to stay connected. Number 4. Reset your trip energy tracker. Most EVs give you a trip energy consumption display, a running average of how many kilowatt hours per mile your driving has consumed. It's one of the most useful efficiency tools built into the car, and most drivers never use it properly. The reason is simple: they never reset it. If your trip tracker is carrying data from 2 days and 3 different driving conditions ago, it's telling you almost nothing useful about how efficiently you're driving right now. The number is diluted by old data that has nothing to do with your current trip, your current weather, or your current route. Resetting the trip energy tracker right after charging gives you a clean baseline. Every mile you drive from that point forward feeds real, current data into the display. You can see in real time how your speed, terrain, and climate control choices are affecting efficiency, and make small adjustments before they add up to a range problem later. Driving at 75 instead of 65 on the highway, the consumption display will show you exactly how much that's costing you in real miles. Running the heater on a cold morning, you'll see that reflected immediately instead of wondering why the range estimate is dropping faster than expected. A lot of EV owners say they improved their real-world efficiency significantly once they started paying attention to this number consistently. Not by changing how they drive dramatically, but by making small informed decisions, slowing down slightly on a long stretch, adjusting climate control, coasting earlier into stops. The trip tracker makes those decisions data-driven instead of guesswork. It takes 3 seconds in the vehicle menu. The information it gives you for the stretch of your driving is genuinely useful in a way that stale rolling average never can be. Number 5. Check your estimated range. Range estimates are dynamic. They're not a fixed number. They're a calculation the vehicle is constantly updating based on recent driving data, current battery temperature, ambient temperature, and the energy it just received from the charge. After a charging session, that estimate can shift. Sometimes it shifts more than you'd expect, especially if conditions changed while you were parked. Temperature dropped, you're heading into an elevation gain, the highway leg ahead runs significantly faster than the city driving that fed the car's recent efficiency average. Before you pull out of the charger, take 5 seconds to check the projected range and compare it to what you actually need to reach your destination or your next planned stop. If the numbers are comfortable, go. If there's less margin than you'd expected, you know that now before you commit to a route, rather than 60 miles in with a sinking feeling and no good options. This isn't about range anxiety. It's about making decisions with current accurate information instead of assumptions. The difference between a relaxed drive and a stressful one often comes down to whether you check the range estimate at the charger or not. The drivers who check it never have to think about it again for the rest of that leg. The drivers who skip it are the ones white-knuckling the last 20 miles. Number 6. Confirm your next charging plan. This is where experienced EV drivers separate themselves from everyone else. They don't just think about where they are right now. They think one step ahead. After finishing a charge, take 30 seconds to consider 3 things: where the next charger on your route is, how far your next drive actually covers, and whether the margin is comfortable or whether you'll need an additional stop somewhere along the way. This matters more than it sounds. Charging networks are not evenly distributed. Some corridors have fast chargers every 15 or 20 miles. Others have a gap that will matter if you're running lower than expected when you reach it. Knowing that before you leave a charger, while you still have the option to add a few more miles to the session, is a meaningful advantage over discovering the gap mid-route at low battery. Apps like PlugShare, ABRP, or your car's native navigation can show you exactly what's ahead in seconds. The time to look is in the parking lot, not at a 12% battery with 40 miles to the nearest charger that may or may not be operational when you get there. One more thing worth building into this step. Check the charger status at your next planned stop before you leave your current one. A charger can show as available on the map, but be offline when you arrive. If you see reported outages or low ratings on your next stop, you can plan an alternative now while you still have options, rather than arriving to a broken unit with no margin left. Experienced EV road trippers treat every charging stop as a 2-part task: getting the charge they need for the current leg and confirming the plan for the next one before leaving. It keeps the whole trip flowing without reactive stops or last-minute route changes. Number 7. The 10-second EV owner habit. This is my personal favorite and the one that ties everything together. The best EV drivers don't think through these steps individually every single time. They've compressed the whole route into a single automatic habit that runs in about 10 seconds before they pull away from any charger. Whether it's a fast charger on a road trip or the level 2 unit at a grocery store parking lot, It goes like this. Check the battery level, confirm the session actually reached your target and didn't stop short, confirm the range estimate, make sure the numbers work for the next leg before you commit to it, glance at the energy stats, reset the trip tracker so the data you're reading is current and useful. That's the whole thing. 10 seconds, 3 checks, done. But the habit creates a consistent feedback loop that compounds over time in a way that's hard to appreciate until you've been doing it for a few months. You catch short sessions before they become emergencies. You drive with accurate information instead of assumptions. You stay one step ahead of the route instead of constantly reacting to it. The reason this habit matters so much is that EV ownership rewards consistency. The drivers who treat every charge the same way, home charger, public level 2, highway fast charger, build a mental model of how their car behaves across different conditions. They start to recognize when something is off. They notice when the range estimate is lower than it should be for the charge level they're seeing. They catch developing issues early because they've established what normal looks like. That kind of awareness doesn't come from reading a manual. It comes from running the same quick checks repeatedly until the pattern becomes automatic. 10 seconds per charge session. If you charge 4 times a week, that's less than 4 minutes a month standing between you and a dramatically smoother ownership experience. Owning an EV well comes down to the habits you build around it. The charging session itself is only part of the equation. What you do in the 60 seconds after you unplug is where a lot of the real difference gets made. Run the 10-second check, know your actual charge level, give the battery a moment after a fast session, reset the tracker, confirm the range, and think one step ahead before you leave the lot. Drop a comment below. Which of these 7 were you already doing? And which ones caught you off guard? If this was useful, hit subscribe. More real-world EV content is coming that skips the noise and gives you what actually makes a difference on the road.